Hey, welcome to another episode of Two Labs Garage. I've been working on part 2 of the revival of my Falcon. And it's actually fighting me harder now than it did when I did the initial video where I impersonated Derek. The problem I'm having is I get spark and a loose spark, and I get spark and a loose spark. So I've done some debating on different solutions, so I decided I'm going to do like I did on my Fairlane and install this Accel electronic ignition conversion kit. So we're going to change this thing over to electronic ignition cheap. Let's get busy. Alright, so like I said, I keep getting spark, losing spark, getting spark, losing spark. So, anyway, I made the decision that I am going to change this to electronic ignition. Back when I was working on my Fairlane, I thought I might do this on the Falcon as well. So I bought 2 of these Accel kits. At least I think they're Accel. They look like Accel. I've had this for a while, so anyway, forgive me if my memory's a little fuzzy. Got this kind of rotor. It's got these notches in it that they kind of take the place of the points. Got this wiring harness. It's pretty nifty. This yellow thing actually shoots a beam from these little things right here, and that rotor I showed you breaks that beam. That's how all that works. I'm going to go on a limb and say these are either some mounts or weights, or I don't know. But anyway, I had really good luck with the Fairlane converting it over. So I think I'll be alright doing this. First step, they say you're supposed to disconnect the battery. So I did that. Now just let me go find me a flat blade screwdriver and I'll get this old mess off. Alright, so I got a flathead screwdriver. Just a plain one, nothing special. Go ahead and... Well, I think I am. Ah, there we go. Like I said, I'm in the middle of doing the next part of a revival on this car. And I gotta say, we got some challenges to work through. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm just gonna tell y'all, it's not just picking up where I left off. We having to backtrack. Anyway, just like that. Got all the little points. And then throughout, you know, I really ought to check, make sure that vacuum advance works before I get too deep into this. Alright, and so now I just need to go disconnect this from the coil and keep on trucking. Just go. Someone took the time to change the wire and all on this. It's been so long ago since this car was worked on before I had it. I found a lot of brand new parts have just disintegrated. Alright, so now we're just going to put these things down. If I remember right, they only go one way. Alright, so I'll bring y'all in here. These metal plates go up here somehow or another. I just can't figure out how the second one goes. Maybe I got them backwards. Alright, so here I got these metal plates. I'm pretty sure that one goes there, but this one I just can't quite figure out. Now, when you're having trouble figuring out how something goes, there's a few ways to go about fixing this. You can look it up on the internet, call a friend that knows. Or if it's something you've done before, you can just bring over one you've done before for reference. Behold my Fairlane. Alright, so we've done it here before, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop this. So, Y'all have to forgive me. Alright, so I'm gonna try to get this off. Y'all have to forgive me because as of yet I still haven't gotten me a gimbal. And y'all ask what I'm waiting for? Prime Day's in a couple weeks, so that's what I'm waiting for right this minute. Alright, so they're stacked. That's the difference maker. Cool. You know, like I said, just know when you've already done for a reference, do you a lot of good. Okay, so now I've done my comparison. I know what I'm doing. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall this. I also can take this out because I see I removed it in the other car, so certainly I can do it here, right? But just in case I ever want to convert it back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this screw back in here where it can just be stored. Alright, so go ahead and put the screw in. I use the ones that are provided because of the kind of heads that are on them. Smuffocate. Now this one only has one screw-in spot. You gotta make sure you got your holes lined up when you torque it down. I'm sure there's some kind of torque spec on this. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Take your other plate, place it on top here, and screw that on. The short one goes towards the vacuum advance, and the long one goes towards the back. Also in this episode, I am using my good camera again. And I gotta give a shout out to a family friend of ours named Bobby. He's a bit of an electronics guru. And he was able to put it back together for me, so big thank you to Mr. Bobby. I appreciate you fixing my camera for me. Go ahead and torque this one down too. Now for the fun part. First things first. Alright, in all this rigmarole, we got a grommet. It's got a flat side on it. I think the grommet's to clear the cap, so we're going to assume it is. Proceed as if it is. So, alright, got that done. Now we fish it through the hole in the side of the distributor. There we go, just like that. Alright, so earlier I was thanking my friend Bobby for fixing my camera. Unfortunately, while he had it, I didn't charge any of the batteries. So I've had one die, and the other one doesn't have a whole lot of charge, so we're going to hope it makes it. If not, I may have to revert to one of my others. It's not quite as good, but if we do, we do. It's not the end of the world. Anyway, got this screwed down on the upper plate. The upper one's the one that has more holes in it. Where in the devil did I put that? There it is. Now my rotor has a notch in it. Alright, we got that on. Now you just put your stock cap back on. Yeah. We're at least part of the way done. That thing's next. Where is it? Oh, yeah, we gotta hook it up now. So take wiring harness, and let's see, where the wires. Alright. And simply just match your colors up. No. Red to red. Actually, hold on, where we go? Oh, it's like that. Alright, cool. Brown to brown. And green to, you guessed it, green. Alright, so if I remember right, I'm going to go look at the fair lane real quick. Green goes to the grounds, or the negative side of the coil. Red goes to the positive. And the brown, you ground on the block. But I'm going to go to the fair lane and check on that real quick. Alright, so the green does go to the negative side of the coil. And a 5/16 nut driver. I find works good for this. So at this point, all of my good video camera batteries have died. So I'm using one of the older cameras, which is, this one does okay, I think. We'll find out. I think this camera does alright. I mean, it's not the best, but anyway. I got better picture taking cameras than this. But I found out when I did that swap meet in Virginia Beach, yeah, they don't do real well on the video. So, pull these little lock washers off. Put the red, you little devil. Put the red on the positive side. Lock washer back on. And screw down the... Now, the only thing we should have left is the brown wire. Yeah, we got bigger lug on that, and that's because... Oh! Yes, I forgot something. Forgive me. I'm going to ignition. I forgot that. Alright. Now, just to figure out where I can ground out the brown wire. Now, the fair lane, I used the bracket that holds the coil in. So that'll be the first thing I investigate on this one, because can I do that here? But the coil is mounted differently in the fair lane, so let's see what's involved in that. Who calls me? Who texts me? That was good. A friend of mine just told me about another station around selling non-ethanol gas. That is music to my ears. I have to thank him here in a few minutes. Take a 9/16 and unmount this. I don't think all that should be happening. That's a little overkill. We're using grade 8 bolts to hold in a coil. A whole bunch of washers. That tells me one thing. Somebody used a wrong size bolt. I'll see if I can't find a better one before I put that together. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and try to bust this loose. Dee-dee-dee-da-da-da. Dee-dee-dee-da-da-da. Where are you? Alright, so got the old coil loose. Now let's see, get that started back through there. Now the brown wire, just gonna bring that around, put that right there, like so, and tighten this back on. And when I remount the coil, I mean, this whole system's grounded to the block. That'd be neat. Wow, for Pete's sake. Alright, so I went poking around and rummaging through all my old junkola I got. And I wasn't able to find bolts any shorter than what they use. So I'm just going to use their stack of washers and put it back. But I did manage to find a bolt that was not a grade 8. So I decided I'd do that. Keep a grade 8 for something I may actually need it for. Use it later. I don't think all these washers will be necessary either, so maybe I'll just do 2 in a lock washer. See what happens. Let's put her down. Yeah, that worked just fine. Now that's only damaged, and the whole process is wire that goes to my coil, so see if I can by chance get that back together. Looks good to me. Now, I'm gonna move y'all real quick because you're sitting around on top of my battery. See what happens. Well, let's see what happens. Alright, so we know we're getting spark now. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get it to run. Well, we know it's getting fire, and that's where I'm going to leave things right this. We got an issue with that starter, which is why I didn't wrap it. Alright, so that covers getting rid of the points and switching to electronic ignition. I know this isn't an MSD or a Mallory or any of those $100 things, but this is a good cheap way to get rid of the points if that's what you want to do. It wasn't my first choice, but I kept having issues, and I can tell this seems to solve that issue. Now I got to get back to work on the revival of this car. As you can see, I got a carburetor right here I'm thinking about using. Got some issues with it. Anyway, I'm just going to save that part for the revival part 2 video on this Falcon. And grateful I had the Fairlane over here to just kind of copy off of. But anyway, we're going to get this Falcon running and driving. It's just, she's fighting me. I don't know why she didn't fight me on the first video, but she's fighting me now. But that is where we are. So anyway, if you would please go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, and stick around for this week's viewer's vehicle. Alright, so for today's viewer's vehicle, I decided to change up the setting a little bit. Got this little oasis I've been working on right now, where I took my old boat and turned it into a pond. I know I got things backwards. Normally people put a boat in a pond, I put a pond in a boat. Today's viewer's vehicle was sent to me by Chris. And Chris says, this is my 1983 Dodge D150 with what was a blown slant 6 and 4-speed. Currently has no motor in it, and I have a motor for this is my dream truck other than it being the wrong inline 6. Production of the D series trucks went from 1960 and 1993 and came with a wide variety of engines such as the slant 6 225 all the way up to the 440 and heavy duty trucks, or even in the venture package of a 150, which was an extremely rare option. I've learned a lot about these trucks ever since I've gotten this. I actually went with Chris to go pick this up. Chris is a friend of mine. You've seen Ben on some of the shows. It's his brother. He says we want a little bit of adventure, and that we do. I've gotten a lot of mileage out of that story. I'm going to spare y'all a lot of the details because I try to keep it very family oriented around here, and yeah, a lot of the stories just aren't appropriate for that. Anyway, you pay about $750 for it to get it from the western part of Virginia. The other truck in one of the pictures, this is 07 Dodge that he's had for about 4 years. Chris is also, he's like a lot of us, he's got his project truck, and sometimes being able to just stay on the project can be challenging. I've done it myself with that white Dodge truck I got. Maybe it's Dodge truck they're doing this to us. I don't know. He's really excited to get it back together, getting his engine back in it and get it running and driving. Chris, this is a great truck. You really go enjoy it once you get it back on the road. I know, I can tell you from personal experience that sometimes when you got a big project going on, it can be a little unnerving to get back to work on it. Because anyway, great truck, great project truck, and as always, I'm interested in showing your vehicles off. They can be project trucks such as what Chris put in. They can be show queen beauties. They can be pretty much anything you want. Race cars, I got one of them coming up for y'all I think you'll enjoy. Trucks, cars, motorcycles. Really pretty much the sky's the limit as long as it's a vehicle. Heck, if you got a boat, I wouldn't be opposed to that. You know, I think some of those old Chris crafts and these old vintage fishing skiffs there, they're pretty neat. If you got one you want to show it off, yes, definitely do so. Yeah, if you're interested in participating, I'd love to have it. Send me a paragraph or two about your vehicle, and I'd say 7 to 12 pictures is what I found works good, but I'm not going to hold you to that number. It could be a little more, a little less. But yeah, send it to me at 2labsgarage@gmail.com. I'll be happy to show it. Also, if you could please like and subscribe. They help the channel a lot. They help the channel grow. I'll see y'all again soon, and take care of your project.